Hi guys, it's MicheleMarieDalene, and it is the 11th of April, 2021. This is kind of a vlog, B-cast kind of video, a little different than the regular live streams because I noticed that the live streams have their own viewership that they don't seem to get monetized in the night shows as easily as the morning shows do, but that's not the topic for today's video. I want to cover. I know I look like I'm cut off. Oh, sorry. I want to cover what's going on with the situation with the different things such as the COVID and stuff like that, and talk about it relatively quickly. As you may know, Ontario is going for a full 4-week lockdown. I mean, very strict lockdown. And the state of Michigan, Governor Whitner wants to do a partial lockdown. And of course, the people of Michigan are not too enthusiastic about it. And I don't blame them. Now, first of all, number one, if you're wondering why we're not using the traffic on the road in the background, it's dreadfully sad. It's dark. It's not very exciting. So I figured let's put a spring scene up on the background here so you can see things a little more nicer look to it than just the standard traffic going back and forth. Anyway, what I wanted to get at was this. The new outbreaks are indicative of a problem that is going to be very hard to deal with the new vaccines, because the vaccines were made for an earlier strain of COVID, earlier variant, and the double mutated virus, for example, which is starting to show up in California, is fairly pretty much in the vaccine has very little effect on it. Okay, and so people are rightfully going, wait, if this virus medication has so little effect on it, that means that somebody needs to come up with a new vaccine, which means that all the existing vaccinations are not going to help with a new one. Correct. Also, even if you did go for those so-called vaccine passports, it doesn't tell you which version of the vaccine you're taking. So you may have been vaccinated for, let's just call it version 1, but for version 10, you have no immunity. So it really kind of makes it kind of hard to say, oh, then we should mandate that we have to take a version 1 and a version 2, version 3, so forth. You can be put on a vaccine treadmill very shortly. Everybody was hoping that COVID-19 initially was going to take a couple of weeks before everything got back to normal. And as we have seen all of 2020, that is far from the case. It has not gotten back to normal. The employment statistics are outrageous. The number of people's lives are affected by the shutdowns is outrageous. The number of people who in the United States alone have succumbed to COVID-19 is a large number. And if anything, makes me think that we're going to be in this for a lot longer. Some people said 2022. I don't think so. I don't think it's going to end that soon. Now, there is a proposal. Actually, it's not really a new proposal. It was actually proposed last year, but it never saw the light of day. What's called the ABC Act. The ABC Act basically means, I think Kamala Harris was one of the co-sponsors, was to give everybody an initial $2,000 seed money, and then after that, $1,000 a month for at least a year until or after the pandemic is over. Well, that means that if they pass the ABC Act, that's going to be $5 trillion every month going to Americans from the United States Treasury. That's a lot of money. However, it's clearly evident that the COVID-19 is not over. COVID-19 is still wants you to take your lunch and take your family. And also, it has also been confirmed that China didn't do enough in the early stages of COVID-19 to deal with the problem. And just like Donald Trump says, they're going to have to pay for it. Because we know that China, because of their lackluster response with the Centers for Disease Control and the World Health Organization, have almost like they were trying to hide something. Now, I'm not a person that likes to get into the conspiracy stuff that much, but you do gotta admit, as several professionals in the governments have pointed out, that China had been acting kind of a little bit obscure about certain things about COVID-19, as if they knew it, but they were trying to cover their reputation. I have to say that regardless of how you look at it, COVID-19 sucks. Even if you don't get the disease, you're being impacted in ways that are not nice. Number one, you're being stuck at home. You're gaining weight. You're getting fatter. Okay? You're beginning to feel more and more depressed. You're getting sick of masks. You're getting sick of lockdowns. And you're starting to really wonder, is this even effective? The truth is, I don't think it's effective. I do agree we should try to keep working on the research and vaccinations, but lockdowns are not working. If they were working as well as they supposedly were supposed to be working, the virus would have probably been a much less of a problem at this point. However, as new variants of the strains come out, they're becoming more and more immune to the effects of the vaccine. It means something. It means that now the scientists have to come up with a new vaccine. And we already know, for example, for the people who are hoping to get the one-dose Johnson & Johnson vaccine, that the Johnson & Johnson vaccine has been pulled off the market from a lot of states due to significant side effects. So that means you're stuck with the two doses, like the Moderna and the Pfizer. Are those two vaccines effective anymore against the newer strains? Not really. So, I mean, what is this going to do for humanity in the next few years? I see years because I do not see COVID-19 going into the history books without a fight within less than 4 years. So I would say maybe by 24, 25, we'll be seeing it maybe become less and less of an issue in our society. By that time, our economy will have been irreparably damaged because of the virus. And yes, China should pay for it since they knew that was the issue. Not the individual Chinese people. The individual Chinese people, the innocent people. I'm against the concept of people having Asian phobes. You know, people who are hatred against Asians. Asians are not, the people themselves are not the problem. We're talking about the bureaucracy of the governments now, not the people. There are a lot of good Chinese people, and they didn't do anything wrong, okay? And so, anybody who's been doing any kind of hate mongering against Asians and Chinese, please stop. Because it's not the individual's fault. Unless maybe they worked in the lab or was messing around with the bats. Maybe then you could be a little more rightfully angry at them. But even then, their supervisors knew that Wuhan lab had safety violations for an inadequate containment for virulent strains of viruses that they were experimenting on. So, yeah, definitely is a management issue more than the people issue. So please don't take it out on the Asian Americans or, of any kind. It's not their fault, all right? In fact, a lot of them are getting sick just like I am, just like you are. I don't have it, thank God, but of course I have other allergies and things like that. And so, like I said, I have a little empathy for you. I understand you're suffering. You're having a bad day. You don't like what's going on any more than we do. Okay, so like I said, I'm on your side. However, what I'm also going to point out is that regardless how much stimulus your government throws at this problem, it's only going to solve the problem for a little while. Because what happens when the stimulus stops? All of a sudden, it's like slamming on the brakes in the American economy. And you're going to hear the smell of burning brake shoes, and as companies all of a sudden are like, what happened to my money? I was making, $3,000, $4,000 a month. I had my rent, I had my mortgage securities, I had my Social Security securities, and all of a sudden that's gone. Well, that's a great question, because that's a good question. Because the government keeps saying is like, oh, we'll go out and send another stimulus. The thing is the stimulus that they should have sent out wasn't monthly. They knew this virus was going to continue for months, maybe even years. They knew that. They already had the knowledge. I know that some people think that the government could just giving out bailout of say $300, $400 stimulus boost for the unemployment, and then the other stimulus checks for from anywhere from $1,200 to $1,400 is going to make a long-term recovery. No, it's like giving a person a shot with epinephrine. Sure, it's going to increase their fight or flight response, and it's going to get them to go out and buy some stuff in the store. It's going to be a temporary boost. It's going to get people started. But then once the money runs out, the situation is just going to go down just like that. Because then all of a sudden, near the end of their money, the people are going to start being a little miserly and saving whatever they can. And I'm certainly no exception to that. I have plans to get my hair done for this year. And so I said, well, I'm going to have to take my $1,400 stimulus, and I'll put $700 in the savings to cover full year of hair care. And at the same time, I also bought the mattress. I bought a lot more expensive than I was going to buy. So now I'm on a monthly payment on the mattress. So I can't guarantee I'm going to be getting the full year worth of hair care. Say I'm more like maybe about $300, and then take the other $300 that I'll save for the mattress and give that to the mattress company. So maybe this month I will send out a check for $600 from my savings to the mattress company. I might just have to do that because it's an expensive mattress. It's $871 with all the taxes and delivery and everything like that. That means that I'll cover my hair for 6 months. Well, what happens if the stimulus check doesn't come in 6 months? Then all my hair grows out again, and you're gonna have a head that's gonna look like something out of a horror show. It's something I need to consider too. But imagine, if you will, for families that if we were guaranteed a stimulus check on maybe not necessarily monthly, but maybe every other month, people would have been more likely to feel confident to go buy products and services and buy the things that they need and want. But because these politicians can't seem to be consistent on anything, they should have come up with this recurring stimulus last year. Well, of course, we know last year that Mitch McConnell basically sat on it. And we know that the Republicans would have basically, even if they did get enough votes in, would have basically still said no. And so Democrats would not have the majority needed to do with reconciliation, and so therefore there probably would not have been another stimulus if left to their own devices. All right. Which brings up another valid point, which is about my channel. I know this that YouTube on the night shows really doesn't like to monetize my night shows much. I'm not really sure why. Last night's show was not a bad show. We had a good show, and yet I got a yellow dollar sign. that's because maybe because of some of the language or maybe the topic. So we covered so many different ones from death to clothing to people in the chat. Some people in the chat were bringing up inappropriate language that my mods were blocking left and right. So yeah, there was a valid issue there. Some of the people didn't really like what was being discussed. But if it wasn't for my subscribers and my patrons who helped keep this channel running, I don't know where we would be right now. We all know what the super chat is. People no longer putting money into the Patreon anymore, or PayPal anymore, because they are using super chat now. That's fine. But there's one thing I want you to know right up front: how the super chat, PayPal works compared to super chat. Super chat, I get paid on the 21st of every month. Okay, so my next check, as long as it's at least $100, I'll receive a payment of $100 into my checking account. Okay, if there's less than $100, the balance will carry over until the next month. So once we hit $100, that is going to cover the donations. PayPal donations to the PayPal account are instant. The money that you send, I get it right away. I don't have to wait days, weeks to get it because it's just automatically going to come. And so that makes it easier for me and it makes it easier for you because that means that you can contribute and the money goes right to the channel. And I don't have to wait for the money to come through. Likewise, Patreon is kind of like PayPal or eBay or YouTube. The Patreon, the difference is they don't have $100 minimum on it. So what they basically means is at the beginning of every month, usually this is at the beginning of the month, I get like my donation. So it's like last one was like $11.50 or something because they only have like $12 worth of patrons. We really need to get the patrons up. We really do. We have to get the patrons up. And we got to get the PayPals up. Because super chats are great and fine and they're wonderful and they do good for spur of the moment success. And everybody likes them. I like them too. But because my bills come due at the beginning of the month, it's easier to get the money from the Patreons and PayPal. And then the money that comes in from YouTube comes on later on, and then we have the money to do other things. Also, I noticed too is that the number of people who watch the videos does a lot better than the live streams. And a lot of the reasons is because there's a topic. In this case, we're talking about COVID-19 and the economy and how it is affecting people's lives. And of course, how it affects my life as a YouTube content creator is I'm still have to face the reality of I'm still living at home. I'm still getting fat. I'm still basically trying to produce a good content. And unfortunately, sometimes we do dilly-dallying a lot. But the fact of the matter is, COVID-19 for channels like mine have become a very major boom towards success because we are reaching out to people that are also feeling like shut-ins. They don't really feel comfortable going out into social environments, or as in the case of Ontario, they can't. And same also applied with Paris. You can't. So obviously for you guys, coming to my channel, having a couple friends, talking about things like, fun topics, but also cover some seriousness topics too, has been important because it gives you a place to speak up. I'm going to be working on a few more things to try to bring more awareness into what's going on. But we have to remember we have to deal with one thing, which is YouTube only gives you 3 notifications per day within a 24-hour period. So because of the 3 notifications within a 24-hour period, I cannot put a video for every single topic in a day I would love to cover in a day. Okay? Because I can only get 3 notifications. So Sunday's fine because I don't do any videos on Sunday, and usually, so no big deal. Same with Saturday. I will usually have the late live stream. I don't do a day live stream. But Monday through Friday is going to be very difficult to have more than one extra video and still be able to send out the notifications for it. So even if I put out notifications on my community tab, that counts as a notification too. So if there's something really important and I like a video or something that I want to share, there's one problem. That counts as a notification slot. So I have to make sure to make the best use of the 3 notifications per day to make sure that you guys get what you need to know in a timely manner. Okay? That's just the way it is. Now, the hair. I want to just cover that real fast. Oh, really? I don't know. I have an appointment for a hair visit on Thursday. I'm looking forward to it, but I'm also a nervous wreck, and there's so many reasons why. Let's get through the nitty gritty, shall we? Number 1, do you have the money every month to pay them $55 for retouch? If I stick with my original plan, and this is if I didn't spend $871 on a mattress and delivery, I probably would have said, yeah, probably would. However, now we did pay for the mattress, and I am on financing for $75 a month for a year. The problem with that is we don't know what's going to happen with stimulus checks or the YouTube YPP program or the Patreon program or the PayPal program or the online store. Please notice I didn't get paid yet because Streamlabs is doing the same thing that YouTube is. I don't get paid until I have $100 worth of sales. So that means we better be buying a lot more coffee mugs, boys and girls, because that's the only way we're going to get $100 is if everybody bought. If we got at least maybe about 30 more buyers of coffee mugs, maybe 40 more people buying coffee mugs, that'd be $120, and then I would get paid from Streamlabs. So yeah, okay. Right now, it's not a major deal for me, but it also means that for me to expand the store beyond that for $12 a month, it's not going to happen until we can get a guaranteed income coming in, because we know that YouTube doesn't pay me unless I have $100 for that month. If not, it carries over to the next month, and then once finally we get the $100, we will get our sales figures. So that's something to keep in mind at all costs. I'm indeed looking forward to seeing the future for me and YouTube, but I also realize that YouTube is really just making pocket money or like for pocket change. I already know that. Okay, but I have expensive tastes, so I can't lie about that. I got expensive tastes, so I'm trying to find a balance for that, and everybody else is too. So that's why the stimulus checks are great. But right now, let's be honest here. We don't know when the next stimulus is going to come in. I know that they're talking about it in the Build Back Better project on part 2, the human infrastructure and the social services needs. That they're talking about increasing, the stimulus money and social security payments and all this, and that's great. But don't forget, it still has to go through a reconciliation. I have one message for my Republican counterparts. Could you please stop blockading all the votes and things that you yourself that you believed in those infrastructure? It would be so much better if you would just say yes. Since you all agreed we need new roads, we need new bridges, we need new water treatment plants, we need new broadband service in the internet for people. We need better public transit. These are things that you yourselves have said that you wanted to support. So why would it be so hard for you to say yes? Notice in the Build Back Better package, it is broken into two parts specifically because they want to try to at least get part of it done with Republican support, which is the same thing that Donald Trump wanted to do, which was infrastructure upgrades. It would make more sense to say yes here and get it done with. As far as part two goes, yeah, we need that too. Especially a Social Security increase, which has been sorely inadequate in the last few years. Now, there is a plan to increase the COLA for the cost of living adjustments for Social Security recipients to 3% this year. That is not a ton of money. However, that means for every $100, you're going to get $3 more. Okay? So if you make $1,000 a month, that's $30 extra in your pocket starting in January, as it proposes now. It's not set in stone yet, so don't, because it's not like it was back in 1972 when it was in the summer it was done. It's now done in the winter time. So we will see November and December what the final COLA agreement will be for people in Social Security. And I definitely think the $200 increase should be something that should be normal or should be permanent, not just for 2 years, because Social Security people have been getting underpaid for decades. And so, yes, a $200 would bring it back up to a wage earning similar for a person that's working a part-time job, which I think would be fine. I mean, you calculate the numbers. Okay, the average person on Social Security, let's just make the math easy. It's $1,000 a month. That's $250 a week. Now, depending on which minimum wage you're going to go by, if you go by Connecticut, that's 25 hours worth of work. Okay, that's minimum wage right there. Okay, under 25 hours is minimum wage. In part-time. Okay, it just sucks. All right, just accept that from what it is. And of course, lastly but not leastly, let's keep in mind too, is that yeah, we got access to more entitlement programs, but don't let those fool you, because those entitlement programs also have rules, stipulations, and guidelines, which could seriously make or ruin your day. Okay, just being honest here, guys. It's not all a panacea at all. It just isn't anything like that. Let's see what else. Oh yeah. The last thing is, keep in mind that what I make on the YouTube partner program, really, like I said, isn't much money. It's like pocket change. I'm talking about the YouTube side, the advertising. I did not mention Super Chats. Super Chats do make a difference. A lot of positive changes, but they're not like a Patreon membership where I can guarantee I'm going to get a certain amount of dollars coming in each month, because a patrons who subscribe to my Patreon page. And if you look in the description, hit the link below, you'll see the Patreon link, and you can join in and become a patron. We'd love to have you as a patron. It really make a difference. The PayPal link is always open. You can always use your help too, guys. It really does help offset the operating costs of this channel. It's summer now, coming in soon. We're going to be getting our laptop. They didn't ship it yet. It's still sitting there ready to be shipped. I don't know the story. I contacted the seller. Hopefully they'll get back to me on Monday and let me know why it still hasn't been sent out yet. It was supposed to have been here probably by this week, but because it hasn't been shipped from Utah yet, from Jordan, Utah, probably because of the mail, and also because they probably didn't bring it to the post office, there's nothing I can do. Also, I wanted to do a video in the future talking about how does a legally blind person, registered blind, deal with live streaming on the internet. I found a couple of videos of a registered blind individual that was doing the live streams, and she was doing it identically to how I do them. So that is, she would use her computer to run the webcam, and then she would be using her phone to read the chats. I know that sounds kind of silly, but hey, you got to do with what you got. You know, if you got one bum eye and you got a good eye, you got to do what best you can with your good eye and try to make a presentation that everybody's going to enjoy. Also, don't forget, because we can't read teleprompters, I can't even not write scripts for these shows because I can't read a teleprompter. I don't have a Braille. I can read some Braille. I did learn Braille some time ago. So unfortunately, I don't have a Braille embosser, so I can print out my script and then read it as I'm going along with my fingers glossing over the Braille paper. I wish I could do that because I would have made my life a lot easier. Or even get one of those dot refreshable Braille displays like the Beetle, but at $3,000 a piece. That's not happening. We priced it. And that's for like a 10, that's for like a 20 cell Braille display. And that's like really, really small, like 10 cells, I think it is. Just read through that real quick, then hit the cursor to space for the next 10 cells. It also had the ability to type in using the Braille or keyboard. You could type in it too. But again, $3,000, not happening. So we have to do what we have here to make the show work. Common sense. But I also want to remind everybody that thank you very much for who are subscribed. I would like to ask you to please help my channel by recommending your channel to other people. We really want to seriously make this channel grow. We need more people. We're at 1064 right now, which is good for a subscriber base. As long as we stay over 1,000, we're fine. But it doesn't mean that I don't want to grow my channel, because I do. But we want to grow the channel with the kind of content that's going to bringing in positive viewer engagement, something that's going to be something that people are going to enjoy. That is not an easy mission to do. So I just wanted to make sure that you knew what I'm up to and how I'm doing things, and in a way that's maybe a little more positive than just watching me just bullshit with you. This is just important to tell you that I really appreciate you guys being here and being a part of the show. I'll see you guys tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. All shows, by the way, for those who don't read the descriptions, are Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. However, Thursday I will be at the hair salon, and I will not be alive on Thursday morning, and I should be home by Thursday afternoon, in which we will do a show with the reblonded hair, and you will be able to see me back closer to what it used to look like. As blonding the hair is a big deal, because for me, that's like shaking the dust from my feet of the past and starting over again in a new era. And that's what I want to do. Is I want to start a new era. I want to start over 2 years of trouble, 2 years of misery, and finally I want to get back to doing the things that I love to do. And so that's what we're trying to do. All right, guys. Thank you very much for watching this. See you on Monday. Bye-bye.